Hi again, this is Professor Innes, and we're on Module 8 of our course on South Park, and we're going to slowly move into the discussion of politics. But first of all, we've got to do a bit more discussion on blasphemy as part of a democratic expression, but also the nature of South Park in the sense that they're discussing things in certain ways which seem to us on first sight to be disagreeable, distasteful. But again, that's part of democracy. We express ourselves in a certain way, and it might be the case that certain parts of society, culture, whatever we call it, disagree with this expression. But nonetheless, it's in a democratic environment. It's really nigh on impossible to tell somebody they can't talk in that way or express themselves in that way. So this is moving on to politics, and you can have a good discussion on politics as we go into the later modules on liberalism, or libertarianism I should say, a bit on Marxism to see if this South Park is possibly using a Marxist interpretation of society. Again, I'm sort of going to leave it up to you to decide if it's Marxist or libertarian, but really, I mean, and it's pretty obvious which one it is, but I'll let you think about it. Okay, right, so we're moving on to that expression. So here, basically, we've got this democratic expression. You're going to do a bit of J.S. Mill here. J.S. Mill followed on from he was educated by Jeremy Bentham, the utilitarian, and their main set of principles are to create a political and social system which creates the greatest good for the greater number of people. Therefore, this could be seen as democratic in nature. What we've got here with South Park is that creation of a greater good, we might say, this greater gathering of, say, happiness, this greater gathering of a view that people in society are not unhappy, but they're happy. So in that way, we've got it's a pretty crude method, but nonetheless it's a method. It's a method used. We use a far more sophisticated type of utilitarianism at the moment, which was encouraged by J.S. Mill, which is here democratic expression is a highest form, or one of the highest forms of human characteristics. So in that sense, to be part of a democracy and express oneself is to be an intellectual. It is to be one who is thinking about one's surroundings and commenting. And as you're going to see in the video, and I think it says in the book, far better to be an unhappy human than a contented pig. So we're not saying the adults here in South Park are pigs, but we get the impression they seem to be contented pigs, or the equivalent of, we should say. And for utilitarianism, the adapted form by J.S. Mill, this is a low form of life. It's just accepting the status quo without comment. So what we've got here is that expression, that democratic expression. And Karl Popper is another one you're going to refer to here to talk about this expression, and also the book refers to Jefferson within this form of expression. So you've got a number of people to refer to talk about this freedom of expression in a democratic society. And apparently we do live in a democratic society, so this is going to involve a bit of possible blasphemy. I'm not quite sure if it is blasphemy, but many would see it as blasphemy, particularly within in the religious cartoons. Right, so that's basically our understanding. For this particular module, we're encouraging that unfettered intellectual inquiry, as it says on page 134 of the text. And again, as J.S. Mill says, as Popper says, we need this in a liberal democratic society, or in just a democratic society. Without that expression, what are we? And again, back to the pigs, these humans in South Park, the adults I should say, could be, as J.S. Mill said, pig. So that's your framework of thinking here. And again, like I said, it's going to lead on to later modules where we get into some real politics. Okay, so I think that will do as the overview for this particular module. So any questions, do let me know. But before I go, keep up with the work. If you've got any trouble, do let me know. I've noticed some pieces of work are not being done by certain students. Now, you've got to let me know why this is happening, because as time goes on, I'll have to put down a 0 for that piece of work. So if you haven't completed that work, such as if it's a journal entry or it's a piece of homework, then eventually it's going to get a 0. Again, I'm not a bureaucrat. I don't believe that you necessarily have to get work in on the deadline here. As long as it's done in good time and you're participating in the discussion boards and so forth and so on, then that is fine. But here it has to be considered that the work has got to be done in some good time. So look back at the work. If it's got a 0 or no, if it's got no grade attached to it whatsoever, it means it hasn't been completed. Once it's completed, I put the grade in, and I do grade every day. There's only 1 or 2 days I haven't touched it, but I grade every day. So once you finish the work, you will get the grade. And if it's from a few weeks ago, then there is something to look at, and you need to finish the work. Okay, so please look at that when you've got the time. Okay, so enjoy this module. Like I said, it's going to lead into some political discussion in the later modules. Please let me know if you've got any questions or anything whatsoever. If something's up with the course, do let me know. Okay, speak to you later and talk with you in the journal entries. Bye-bye.